So all of the ranting of the judges is based upon the embrace of Mubarak and everything that his government represented and the characterizing of all opponents as instruments of terror. That's what colors and defines this persecution and prosecution of Lynne Stewart, and that's what is now before the world as a falsehood and a fabrication, because it's the very nature of the regime that has been exposed by the Egyptian uprising, by the population itself, not only in Egypt but across the region. That's got to be front and central of the challenge to the railroading of Lynne Stewart into prison. Politics are emergent before the world.
And Lynne Stewart, as an expert on the landmarks case, was something that this government felt that they could not tolerate, going around the country to universities and law schools, as they characterized it, corrupting our youth with the truth of the landmarks terror.
Just to clarify what that is, the government represents that a 71-year-old man who is blind with diabetes, who doesn't speak English, whose fingers are numb and therefore can't read Braille, who has a walk-up mosque in a poor part of town with a few immigrant parishioners, has been capable of organizing, financing, and implementing the blowing up of the Statue of Liberty, the George Washington Bridge, the Lincoln Tunnel, the Holland Tunnel, the United Nations building, and preparing the assassination of the then Secretary General of the United Nations, Boutros Ghali, and the then Senator of New York, Alphonse D'Amato. All this laid at the door of Sheikh Omar Abdul Rahman without the remotest physical or other capacity to carry out anything of this scale in the heart of New York. The utter absurdity of this lies at the heart of this fabricated false flag terror plot of the United States government, fathered upon the Sheikh and then visited upon defense attorney Lynne Stewart, because she was capable of showing the evidence to be fraudulent and revealing before the public the criminality of the U.S. state and its rulers.
And we all know that it was Imad Salem, an operative of the Egyptian government, who was paid and came to this country to entrap the Sheikh when he asked the question, how do you want him in jail, here or there? So these things are going to come out, and I'm hopeful that the students who have gone into the state apparatus and are preserving the papers and asking that any of those who were guilty of burning the records be arrested. So I'm very hopeful that Lynne will be exonerated, but I'm not sure that she will be exonerated through the American court system.
In the news, aside from the uprisings in the Middle East, we have President Obama using the occasion to go back, to renege on his commitment to close Guantanamo, and he has reinstituted the military tribunals. In other words, indefinite detention.
Yes, the Washington Post reported yesterday that Obama has signed an executive order creating a formal system of indefinite detention. That is to say, those who have not been charged and those who have not been brought to trial can be held indefinitely and without any recourse. At the discretion of the President of the United States, the executive order recognizes that the detainees will remain in custody for many undetermined years, if not for life. So in effect, even the pretense of due process in a staged military tribunal is no longer on the cards for people who have been buried alive in Guantanamo. This is the architecture of the fascist state, and it elucidates why Lynne Stewart is a threat to this system, because she is a defender of those who are subject to such treatment, and she is an exposer of the character of the Obama regime and the nature of its judicial rulings, which are indeed akin to fascism.
Well, thank you, Ralph, and we're looking forward to hearing more about the appeal and, of course, how Lynne is doing in her projects while she is in prison. This has been Taking Aim with
Ralph Schoenman
and Mya Shone. We'll be with you soon.
Wow. keep picking up in the eye. Start